เซสชันนี้เดี๋ยวผมจะใช้เป็นภาษาอังกฤษนะครับเพราะฉะนั้นแขกผู้มีเกียรติทุกท่านหากว่ามีเครื่องแปลภาษาเนี่ยนะครับลองเซตไปช่องที่เป็นภาษาแปลจากอังกฤษเป็นไทยนะครับจากอังกฤษเป็นไทยนะครับฉะนั้นผมขอเริ่มเซสชันนี้เลยนะครับ It is truly my honor to be here at this stage today. We have privilege to welcome our distinguished teacher from Brunei Darussalam and from Singapore. May I introduce our distinguished teacher on the stage. May I introduce Mrs. Ratanawati from Brunei Darussalam and Mrs. Wang-Lim Lian from Singapore to be on the stage, please. So much. I have to confess that I'm very humbled to be here today because the experience that we have on this stage today is enormous, and we look forward to learn from this experience from both Brunei Darussalam and from Singapore. This is truly ASEAN, this stage from today, and the topic we are gonna discuss and focus is about special education and educational support for low progress learners in mainstream school. I believe that we still have a number of these particular children group in our country and in any country around the world, including ASEAN. How can we make sure that our education system is flexible and is innovative enough to discover the gems and the diamonds in our education system? And we have our distinguished teacher from Brunei Darussalam, crew or teacher Ratanawati and teacher Wang-Lim Lian to share this to us. And we will start like this. Both of them prepare the video for about 5 minutes each. We would like to start the video from Brunei Darussalam first, and then from Singapore. And after the video, I will let each teacher give a little bit of the little discussion and explanation for some missing information or some additional information you would like to add. And after that, we will go through the discussion points, about 5 of them, before I open the floor for everyone at the end of this discussion, meeting. So without further ado, I would like to the technical team to open the video. We are moving with the video presentation that both teachers from Brunei Darussalam and Singapore have presented this afternoon. And I would like to open the opportunity for Mr. Ratanawati to introduce yourself further and also add some additional information for us based on the video presentation that you have presented to us earlier. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum and selamat pagi to Muslim participants. And good afternoon, everybody. Swadika. Okay, it's a great to be here again in Bangkok since our award presentation in 2015. So I'm glad to be here in this most exciting ceremony. It is a very touching moment for us. Meet together 11 countries. Here to meet great people, outstanding teachers, and in a great event. So to share our experience, our passion in teaching, and the ideas for the sake of our children and teachers' development, our love for the student, our love for teaching, and love for both learning and teaching. I'm a full-time special education teacher in one of the primary school in Tutung district It's about 45 minutes from Brunei town. I've been teaching for almost 28 years now, and 9 years experience as a normal regular teacher, and almost 20 years in special education. Beyond my responsibility as a special education teacher, I'm also a mother of a special needs girl, aged 23. So I'm here, ready to share with you my experience and my journey in teaching. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Teacher Ratanawati. We really look forward to learn more from your 20 years experience in the special education teacher, and also for the typical student in the school too. I would like to move on to Ms. Lian. From Singapore, I have seen lots of your presentation on the stage, but I'm sure you have more to add it to us. Please, could you introduce yourself further and also add something that you would like to share to us based on your experience from that video? Thank you.
Thank you. Sawadika. I'm Lian from Singapore. I teach at Holy Innocents Primary School, and I manage children with special learning needs. They are the low progress students, but nevertheless they are all special, and they all have their special gifts. I have been teaching. Teaching is my first love, and always been. I have been teaching for 23 years and still counting. So this is really a great platform for us to come together to exchange ideas and learn good practices from the different ASEAN countries. Although our education system is so diverse, so different, but I think we are all united by this common goal of providing quality education to all children. So I hope that through this forum, we can have a chance to touch base and to interact with one another so that we can enrich our experiences together and move from strength to strength. So I hope you have a chance to come to Singapore. Do touch base with me. I'll be able to host you, or you can even visit my school. I have 3 teenage children, and they are very precious to me, and they inspire me to do my best every day. So I'm thankful to be here, and I'm grateful, and I hope to follow Her Royal Highness to really at the heart. Education lies at the heart, and we can transform lives through education.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Teacher Lian. As you can see that they are truly united as all here in this room, that every child have the right for education and to grow with the quality education, no matter how special they are.
Yeah.
And they should get us support and everyone's support.
Yes.
After all, I believe that ASEAN is the birthplace of education for all declaration anyway.
Yes.
So I think it cannot be anywhere else to start with here. And you could see that when they spend 20 years in special education, they still look very young. I can't believe my eyes to see that it's been 20 years. So
I'm almost 30 years.
Oh really? Oh yes, 30 years. But you still look 30 to me. Oh yes. So this is the benefit of working hard with a special student, and so everyone would like to join your force in the future, I believe. But I would like to come back to the point that we have agreed that we would like to ask your question that everyone want to know. I'm sure you spent 20 or 23 or 30 years working so hard for every single child, but what started everything? What started all? From the day one that you turn yourself from from a child yourself in school. What started all from changing your ambition to become a teacher?
Oh.
Can I start from you, Mrs. Ratanawati?
Okay. Oh, thank you. Surprisingly, as a teacher is not my ambition. What do you call that? It's my family request. Actually, it's not from me actually. So having a family, become a teacher. My mother is a teacher. My father-in-law is a teacher. My mother-in-law teacher. My cousin a teacher. My niece, my aunts are all teachers. I came from educators family, okay, but none of them inspired me to become a teacher. Look, because my school time experience is not that easy. I'm being a slow learner. I always at the bottom of the class. I'm always slow. Okay, and I have a pretty awful teachers during my time, because I always punished by them. Okay, so that's experience, haunted me. I don't want to be a teacher. So it's my based on my experience. So when I was 13, my youngest sister is just 5 years old at the time. So I'm the one who look after her at home. So what I can do, I just teach her read and count. Surprisingly, she always the top in the class. So maybe my mother shows that the teaching, teacher in me, but not, I cannot see it in myself. So the second inspiration was my own daughter. She is Down syndrome and with autistic. When she was born, I'm already a teacher. 5 years become a teacher. Then I have her. So she gave me big impact in my life. So from that moment, I was so down because she is my eldest child. So I'm expecting that I have a, something like a perfect daughter and all that. So I feel down. But I'm thinking myself, who else can help her unless I'm the one who, do this for her own benefit. So she really taught me the importance of hard work from that on. So I have a chance to further my study, and one of the highest rank officer in the Ministry of Education gave me the opportunity to further my study in special education, as she gave me the priority as I'm a teacher and a mother. So I took this chance, the chance for me to study, and that's the time it inspired me and motivated me to become a good teacher. I must help the kids like her who have difficulties in learning, have learning challenges at school. So I don't want to be that happen during my daughter's time when she go to school. Every teacher reluctant to accept her in the classroom. I don't want that to be happen to other kids. She really gave me the spirit to work hard, simply because to shoulder the burden, the right of the children with special needs. So her inspiration guides me for the type of teacher I want to be. I came to the determination that I would be good at it. So that's motivated me. Yes.
Thank you so much, teacher Ratnawati. Yeah. Start from family tradition.
Yes, family tradition.
To spirit.
Yes.
From your sister,
yes,
and then your daughter. And then the ministry found that they found someone special in their education system, so they give you opportunity.
Yes.
And I hope this story inspire everyone who still have friends or families who still not sure whether they want to become a teacher. I hope this story from Brunei Darussalam will inspire you to become a teacher or special education teacher too. Can I move to teacher Lian, and I'm sure Singapore, everyone believes that there are so many prestigious profession, engineer and economist or everything, but why teacher? What started out?
For me, I mentioned just now, teaching is my first love, and it's my childhood aspiration. I still remember when I was young, I would use my younger siblings. I'll say, let's do a role play. You'll be my students. And I'll put on my grandfather's glasses, and I'll hold a ruler in my hand, you know, trying to instill some fear in them. So to me, that was my first impression of teachers. Really, wow, I have to be very good in the classroom. I have to pay full respect to my teachers. But along the way, as I start my schooling journey, I am very blessed to come across very, very good teachers. They are not just good in their pedagogy, they are teaching in the classroom, but beyond that, they care for the students. And to them, character comes first. So I'm really inspired by these good teachers, and I tell myself that one day I want to be like them, you know, to be caring and to be able to make a difference in the life of the students. So it's really this group of good and caring teachers who have impacted me, to inspire me to want to give of my best to the students out there. And I think I'm really, truly very grateful that I have a chance to work with low progress students, because I guess there's so much potential in them. Each one of them is a gem waiting to be discovered. You know, and I feel that if we really take time to understand them, spend time journey with them, understanding them, we can see the bright spark in each of them. And it's really the job of a teacher, the role of a teacher, to make that happen.
Thank you so much. What a beautiful story. First, from teacher Lian, to start from her soul, that she have a first group of pupils as a family members, right? And you have seen a lot of good role models, and you believe that you want to find yourself in a teacher profession.
That's right.
And from both story, from both country, you can see that they see something special in this low progress student. They see that they treat them as a gems, waiting for someone to discover and polish, to become something special for their society. So I think the inspiration from both sides of the story are the same. That special group of students, the low progress one, are very important for our society.
Yes.
So can I move to the second question about, you mentioned that you have seen a lot of good role models in your teaching career, but what is the best memory or best role model that have inspired you until today to keep on moving? I'm sure in these past 20 years or 30 years, not that easy. It must be tough sometimes, up and down, but what kind of role model you have in mind that reminds you what you want to do and make yourself moving on to the future? Can you start from teacher Ratanawati, please?
Okay. What motivates me to become a teacher is not just one thing, you know. It's I love learning and teaching. So it continues to motivate to me to become a better teacher. So because every day I try to focus on helping to make each student a little better than they were last year or yesterday. Okay, I want to spend the time in the classroom to be time spent growing to become a better person. So it's absolutely the student that really motivate me to carry on. Okay, that keep me motivated. They look so hopeful. We just have to inspire them to learn, to love learning. So as they see us smiling, preparing, caring for them, I'm sure they will care us too. I believe that. So I am motivated as a teacher when I see the smile that comes over the faces, the student faces, as they finally learn something new. Okay, even it is in a small amount, I get satisfaction it's very touching, and I usually jump with joy if they learn something new. Okay, knowing that they have something new before, then I can still make a difference to their life. Okay, so okay, the student is the main person that motivate me. Yes, sometimes we are frustrated when we fail to make them learn, but yet it motivated to keep waking up every day, every morning, and engaging them in learning new activities to help them get ready to be the best they can be. That's motivate me. Yes.
Oh, okay. So you student are your inspiration and motivate you to move on.
Yes.
And you have faith, a very strong faith in them that
yes.
they must learn and become a better
yes.
every day.
To help them nurture the lifelong learning in themselves.
Right. So the student and the faith in her that makes a magical combination for you to move until today. So what about you, Miss Eileen?
Yeah, I think my role model I've touched on briefly in the video. She's Ms. Zainuddin, my Set 4 form teacher. She's very special to me because she has impacted me, and she is really the reason why I wanted to be a teacher. In particular, I remember the day when I was doing a test in school. And midway, I received, someone came to the classroom, a clerical staff, and told me that after your paper, please call home. This is very urgent. So I was a little disturbed, but nevertheless, I had to finish my exams paper. So shortly after that, I returned the call, and I was greeted by a shocking news that my grandmother has passed on. And that was very sudden to me. I tried to compose myself, and I went to see my form teacher to ask for departure from the school. So when I went up to her, she was all concerned. She said, "Yes, why do you need to go back early?" So upon that caring demeanor, I broke down and cried. And for like a good 1-2 minutes, I just stood there crying, and she immediately hugged me, and she said, "It's okay, take your time." She didn't know what happened to me, why I was crying like that. Yeah, but she took her time. She said, "It's okay." And after that, I regained my composure, and I told her that, my grandmother has passed on. And immediately she attended to me, and she said, "No, I will accompany you to the wake." And she was with me throughout the journey. And in those difficult moments, every word means something to me, It was so comforting, and she shared with me her own journey, how she coped with the passing of her loved ones. And so to me, that was a life lesson, really, when you needed someone, and that was the hand that reaches out to you first. So beyond her good teaching, I mentioned also that she is a good teacher. She also made lessons very lively. And what I really admire of her, she pays good attention to every student. If you come in with a new hairdo, she notices it straight away. And she said, "I like your hairdo today." Or she knows that you like a particular color. So to me, this is a teacher who really makes a difference to the fine details. And she wants to be involved in the life of her student. It's really going beyond the textbook. I think this is really, she is an excellent role model. And up to today, I still keep in touch with her. For a good 10 odd years, we lost touch because I was busy bringing up my kids. I was busy with my own teaching career. But somehow I wanted to connect back with her. And when I went to call my alma mater, I was so happy she has not retired. She's still there. So when I arranged to meet up with her, she said, "Where were you? I have been thinking about you for a good 10 odd years, And she brought along photos to show me, and she remembered I wrote her a card. And it was in such good condition. She said, how much this card means to me. So really, it's that relationship that you have built with your student over the years. It's not just coming to school to
Yes.
impart knowledge, but it's really going beyond that. So that's very powerful.
Thank you so much. I can feel that caring,
Yes.
that caring that you talk, that you learn from her. It's still within you, and the attention to detail is something that,
Yes.
especially I guess the special teacher must be extra in terms of attention to the
Yes.
detail of the,
Yes.
the student, right? So I hope that everyone who have inspired from Kru Lian story will feel like we need someone as a bedrock of our career, just like this. So we can always remember that who have inspired and then move on with this tradition. And this is really moving already, but let's move on to the next question, that after you have been awarded to the PMCA award in 2005?
Yes, 15.
2015, sorry. What changed? Are there anything changed to your career in any way? I believe that everyone want to know.
Okay.
Last time they saw you in 2015, they want to know, this is like a homecoming day.
Yes.
So everyone want to learn from you. What happens?
Okay.
Please share.
With my election as a Princess Maha Chakri Award recipient in 2015, it was a tremendous appreciation that I have ever received in my entire serving experience. It gave me the inspiration to rise more energetic, determined to work harder to fight for the right of the student with special needs towards the maximum extent. Okay. At school, actually, I act as a licensed person between the student, the families, the parents, the teachers, and the administration. That's the big difference. So maintaining open channels of communication allows us to share information about student strength, weaknesses, and struggle and accomplishment. Being the PMCA recipient doesn't change much of my teaching career. I still want to make sure that I maintain my teaching style and my personal relationship with others. I keep myself down to earth. So I just want to keep low profile in my school and amongst the friends and families. In fact, the title as a awardees of PMCA recipient makes me uneasy sometimes, as people surround me will look at me and have a high expectation towards me. Each day I admit that I keep on thinking how to improve myself, how to make myself improve and more improve, okay? And to prove that I'm really deserved with the title. So to strengthen and to improve my teaching profession, I work hard at all aspect of my job. So I attend and present sharing session, and I also volunteer myself to share my experience. Even the school administration doesn't ask me to do so, but I'm the one who volunteer myself. Okay, and in turn, I have tried to be a good role model for new teachers, for my relief teachers, and I'm a mentor to everyone with whom I work. Having a respectful, cooperative, and positive attitude I think, is very crucial to furthering the success of my student and the program. Okay, and I was very, very lucky, and I'm happy because we are given the opportunity from this platform, from the PMCA Foundation, to learn and gain more experience, to value of observing others, colleagues from Thailand and Chiang Mai, because I have my school visit last December across Thailand with the help of PMCA Foundation. Their experience have been invaluable to me as a developing as me as to develop my professional development. Hopefully, in the year come, I will have more chance to start to learn from organization in Bangkok, and I think such professional growth are extremely valuable in me in strengthening my teaching profession, because they are personal, practical, and demonstrate a commitment in effective teaching.
Thank you. I'm running out of the papers to write down what have this PMCA made to your career and how you're trying to improve yourself, contribute more to the society, to your students and your colleagues, and I'm sure everyone proud of you that what you have done and what you will do more in the future after receive this award in 2015. What about Miss Lian?
I think following Princess' example, I want to champion inclusive education. I think every child can learn and achieve, and we must share the same belief and work together with the community, with the home to make it happen. We cannot do it alone.
Yes.
It takes a village to raise a child. So I think everyone is important in supporting the child to shine, to achieve. And education gives hope, and teaching is about touching lives. So I want to continue to be instrumental in that area. And I want to be able to be like the princess, her outstanding achievements in the field of education, and most of all the development of quality, with focus to the quality of life, especially for the underprivileged. So similarly, as I manage students with learning difficulties, and some of them are from underprivileged background, I want to remember that we can do so much for them and really change their lives around. So after receiving this award, I have thought about, and I read quite a fair bit of the literature about the princess' work. To her, no segment of the people is left out. Everyone matters, and she really has a heart for the underprivileged. So to me, it's about leveling up my students in the classroom so that they can learn like any other students. So the classroom has to be inclusive, and every child can showcase their talents, even if they have their challenges in learning. So I thought about it, and I actually developed a learning toolkit to help my special needs children. And I will be doing a little show and share tomorrow for this toolkit. This is good because I feel that if we are resourceful and we are constantly thinking about how we can improve the learning of our students, it will really make a difference, and we will be able to see results. We might not see it overnight, but as we journey with them, we can see the progress that they have made. And I think what he also mentioned earlier, it built their confidence. And when they know that they can achieve, they want to do much more.
Yes.
I believe everyone listened to these two stories, inspiring one. We are very humble and very proud that our beloved princess have inspired you to move on, and not only you, but you bring other people to help you change your teaching career and your education system and society. We really look forward to learn more from you here. And the last two questions, I would like to combine it together, because one question is about what is the inspirational case that you have encountered in your teaching career, and what is the challenging experience? So I guess you can both share to the inspirational one and the challenge one in one go, so we can save as much time as possible for the floor to participate with our discussion. So can I start from Mrs. Ratnawati to share your story about challenge and inspirational case, please?
Okay. I teach students with multidisciplinary difficulties. They are autistic, Down syndrome, hearing impaired, visual impaired, specific difficulties, learning difficulties, global development delay, and so on. So I used to cater one student. It was 4 years ago. She has a profound hearing impaired with Tourette syndrome. Tourette syndrome is a kind of where she repeat some action, movement, okay, and severe behavior problems. She has a multi difficulties, okay. So she's giving me give me the challenge. So it's a big challenge for me. When she transferred to my school in 2008, besides I'm teaching look after her, I also teach 11 students with special needs. So she threw things towards you. She split, hot Milo on the floor. She will spit on you. She throw chairs on you. And previously she was being ignored by her special education teacher at her school. So she didn't learn anything. And the teacher, the special teacher herself, doesn't know that she exists in the school. So she's being totally ignored by the school. As the time she was in my supervision, I discovered that she has no basic in numeracy and sign language. She just copy words, and I can read them. The words are very big, and it look like a Thai alphabets, words. Okay, so it's very big handwriting. I was very pity on her and tried to discuss with her parents and educational psychologists to discuss the program that that would fit her needs. She was very aggressive, as I can't leave her unattended. So wherever I go, I was always beside her, and I have to make her busy with activities so that she has no time to misbehave in the class. So the problem is, I was too attached with her. That's my mistake. Okay, she has been with me for 3 years, and we never apart. So I taught her counting and signing. Well, practice make perfect. As time goes by, she knows how to do calculation, and she writes with nice handwriting, and then she can use money. She can buy from the canteen. She can look at the watch, the time, and everything. So besides that, I expose her with life skill, activities such as folding shirt, washing dishes, and laundry, toothbrushing, and do some office tasks such as laminating, stapling. She's helping me in my everyday tasks in the class. So her parents were very supportive, and in terms of providing me with the teaching material, and work together in producing teaching tools for her daughter. So at the end of the year, she was about to transfer to secondary school. So I just can't bear my sadness for being apart with her. We are very close, and I'm very attached with her. So I cried a lot with deep sadness. I can't sleep well a few weeks before and after the separation. I was admitted in the hospital because of being hypertension, because of the impact. So finally, I managed to visit her house and to make sure we both comfortable with our new transition for being not together anymore. I believe that she missed me during that time, and what the inspirational side of this story is there is a recipe for teaching students with special needs itself, such as we must be patient, kindness, creativity, commitment, patience, and love. That's very important.
Thank you so much. What a very inspirational. I'm sure you still keep in touch each other.
Yes, I still keep in touch with her and wish her a birthday every year.
Right. Very moving and very beautiful story. I'm sure you have a similar story, but can we learn from your experience too?
I think all my students are really my inspiration. If I could write a book, there would be so many stories that I can share with all. But today, I think I'll highlight two. The first one, inspiration one. This child, when I taught him, I saw that spark in his eyes. But when I meet up with his mother, she would complain to me, he can't learn, he is such a failure. Every day I have to sit with him and then I'll coach him and I have to repeat the task over and over again, but he is not learning. He's too playful, he's always distracted. So I told the mother, I don't think so, because in the classroom he is very different. He is very engaged. And he wants to learn and he asks questions. When it comes to written work, yes, I agree that he has some limitations and challenges. But I slowly tried to analyze what are his weaknesses in learning, and I actually tried out some strategies with him and also develop a IEP, individual education plan, to help him track his own progress and learning. So over time, I do see that he has put in the effort to want to make that improvement. And slowly I also see that indeed, although he put in a lot of effort, there are certain challenges that he has, and I thought it will be good to put him up for some learning assessment. So after seeing the educational psychologist and working alongside with her, he was indeed diagnosed with severe dyslexia. So the day when we actually called the parents in for a conference to share the assessment outcomes with them, mother broke down straight away. And she said that, do you know, teacher, I had to take medicine for depression because I thought my child cannot make it. And every day it's a struggle. So I feel really guilty that I didn't know that my child actually has learning difficulties. But I comforted her. I said it's not too late. We can still turn around. And we sat down together and we worked hand in hand to come up with strategies that she can also reinforce at home. And that, bit by bit, day by day, we see the child improving. And later on, mother also shared with me the mother-child relationship has improved so much. And she also started to pay a bit more attention to what other talents he has. So we find that he's very good in sports. So we actually encourage him to take on certain co-curricular activities to be able to work on his own talents and strength. And to cut the story short, many years down the road, he contacted me 2 years back and he told me, Mrs. Wang, I have applied to be a teacher. And I want to be a teacher just like you. So to me, this is priceless, really, to know that I have impacted a child. And in the same way, his life story has also inspired me. So the other story that I'd like to share is more on the challenges that I face. It's always a challenge to work with parents of these children, and some of them, they are from the low-income family background. So to them, livelihood is more important. Daily issues, running the home is more important than the child's academic and holistic development. So I have this mother, a single mother. Our father has passed away due to cancer. So she shared with me, teacher, I have no time for you. I have to work 2 jobs. And I can't really speak with you over the phone to discuss how best to help my child. I told her, your girl has a lot of potential and we can stretch her. She said, oh, you do what you think is best for her. And she doesn't want to be too involved. I can understand that because she has got more pressing issues to handle. So when I spoke with this girl, I told her maybe I can do a home visit and I can, see how what are some of your needs and we can, work together to make things better. She shared with me she sometimes cannot finish her homework because when she goes home, she has to handle the household chores. She has to take over the cooking for her 2 younger siblings, and she has to do the household chores like washing, and cleaning the house, because mommy is busy juggling 2 jobs, and she feels a lot for the mother. So my heart goes out to her. I remember when I went to visit her house, I was greeted. I was quite shocked because there was nothing in the living room. It's just bare. I just basically walk into a room with 4 walls. There's no furniture, no equipment. So it's really bare. So I asked her, how do you do your homework? She said, I just sit on the floor and I do my work. So I left with a very heavy heart that day, and I went back to school and I thought, how else can I help this family? So I actually link up with some community agencies under this Wishing Well project. So they could actually sponsor a household with basic items for the family or for the child. So a few of the other students whom I help, they actually ask for things like, I want a laptop to do my project work. Then these other children, I want a more comfortable bed, because the mattress is wearing out. So when I asked this girl, what would you want for your family or yourself? Maybe a study table, since you don't have one, you have to sit on the floor to learn. She said, I have 2 wishes actually. So I said, okay, tell me what are these 2 wishes? She said, but I don't think it's easy for the sponsors to get these items for me. I said, okay, never mind, you tell me. So she said, first, I would like to ask for an altar to pay respect to my late father. So she said, my father is in my heart, but I want to have an altar so that every day I can pay my respect to him. So I thought, wow, for a girl to speak like that, it really reflects to me that the family means so much to her. And the second one, she said, if I can't get that, never mind. I know it's not easy to get sponsorship for an altar. So I would like to ask for a sofa set. So I was quite puzzled. You mean you want a sofa set to do your homework? She said, no, the sofa set is for my mommy. Because when she comes home from work, she'll be all tired, but yet she has to sit on the floor. So a sofa set will be able to bring her some comfort. Normally I will be able to do simple massage for her, so I can do it when she's well rested on a sofa. And I was really touched by what she said. But she went on to tell me, do you know why? Because you shared with us the story during our English lessons. So I said, oh, what story is that? The Giving Tree. That is one of my favorite books, and I shared with the class. And she said, remember, the Giving Tree is always about giving. It's always about others before self. So I want to remember that my parents, my mother, and of course the family needs will come first. So it's always others before self. And I know that, wow, if we really invest time and take time to, to be involved in the child's life, we can do so much for them. And at the back of it all, most of all, she remembered the values that you have taught them. It's not just a story per se, but she remembered these values that she has learned from the story. And it has changed her and also enhanced her character as a whole. So with all this, the mother was moved, and she when I did the visit together with the sponsor, she was very grateful. So when I related to her what happened, what the girl said to me, she was also very moved. And then she feels that, yeah, I could do more. I mean, my work is important, but since my girl is so thoughtful and she really thinks about the family, I should also, follow her desires, and I want to be more involved in her education as well. Yeah, so that year was really a turning point for the girl, and she went on to do very well. So I think it's really about the girl herself overcoming the odds, and therefore inspiring me, the mother, and everyone else around her to know that nothing is too difficult if we set our heart to it.
Thank you so much. What a melting story.
Yeah.
It's my heart. You can see that these kids, no one really want to teach them. Everyone turned their back against them.
Yeah.
But we have these two teachers who really saw something special in them. Even you went there to their house,
Yes.
where there's nothing there, but still they have such a big heart to still want to give something to others, even though they have nothing. And having these two teachers can really make a difference in our education system. And I hope these stories will inspire everyone here, and I guess we have video and we can transfer to everyone else that when we see a child who have no one want to give their education, it is us responsibility to move there, attend them, and turn them to someone special. Some of them can be a teacher, as your first story, and some of them can be an inspiration for everyone else too. So I guess this is such a good starting point to open the floor for everyone who either want to have more inspirational story, and we need a tissue here too on the panel. And I would like to open the floor. We still have a handful of time, about 30 minutes.
My name is Maliwan Thamaseng from the Foundation for the Deaf under the royal patronage of Her Majesty the Queen of Thailand, and also a teacher for the deaf. First of all, let me thank all of the presenters today for a fine presentation and share your experiences with us. First question to Madam Ratanawati. We have seen in your video that you have visited several programs of special education in Thailand. So please share with us your impression, and also for teacher training in special education in your country. This is for Ratanawati, please.
Okay, in Brunei we have several courses in special education. It's a certificate in primary education for 1.5 years, and then degree course for 4 years. It's a part-time, it's not full-time, part-time service. You are teaching in the morning and you have class in the afternoon. And also master degree in special education. But that was a few years back. But now the courses stopped as we couldn't get the lecturer or tutors to train teachers to attend the course. But there is some option that the teachers can take the course with their own expenses. There is a lack of special teachers in Brunei. There are only maybe less than 20 teachers now, but to accommodate the schools with special needs, there are almost 3,000 plus students with special needs in Brunei. So this number of teachers brings a lot of challenge to us, where now we in my school, we have 33 students with special needs with only 4 special teachers. So for average is we have 10 students each. So I think it's very challenging for us to cater the child individually. So one way that the ministry to overcome this problem, they assign a few teachers from the school. They select one teacher. We call it LST teacher, learning. What do you call that? Learning support. Yes, learning support teacher to attend the course. But these teachers, they have their own responsibility to take care of their class, their own classroom. So this they are as a standby teacher. If there is no special teacher in the school, they are the one who replace the job, the task to help this special needs teacher. But my school is a center. It's not like an ordinary school. It's a center for special students with special needs in a zone. There's a zone for there's a Tutong. My district is Tutong district. There's a Tutong district 1, Tutong district 2. So we are center for the Tutong district 1. So we are provided with the blocks or buildings for us to teach this student. Different like the other school, they have a small classroom, only for small classroom for the LST teacher to teach special needs. But different with us, we have a big block for these 33 students to run to get the program from the teacher. So far, that's the problem. Sometimes the principal, they are reluctant to let the LST teacher to focus from the normal classroom to become a special teacher. So that's our main problem and issue in Brunei Darussalam now. We are lack of number of special education teacher. Since there's no more courses, so I'm sure is the teachers. Times goes by, some teachers are retired, and the number will be less and less. That's the problem.
Right. You have a
Thank you.
For
how about Ms. Wang-Lim? In Singapore, what kind of interdisciplinary team that you have? And also, please share with us about teacher training, please.
Sure. As I teach in a mainstream school and not a special school, so basically we have a team of, we call it a multi-skilled team in the school, and we have a team of allied educators to support teachers in helping these children with special needs. So each of these allied educators, they specialize in an area of a learning need, dyslexia, it could be autism. So we do also work on a cluster level, whereby, we can come together to pull in our resources, and we constantly seek the advice of the MOE educational psychologists on cases with regards to diagnosis, assessment, and also strategies to help them. We meet regularly to come together to talk about how we can level up the learning of these children by coming up with specific customized IEP, individual education plans for these children, so that their learning is not compromised. In the classroom setting, we have our in-class support as well as the withdrawal support. So withdrawal support will be facilitated by the learning support coordinators to provide literacy and numeracy support in the classroom. So beyond working actively with this multi-skilled team, we also provide transition support to all the other teachers in the classroom, so that everyone is well aware of the child's needs, and they will be constantly seeking and being very proactive about helping the child. So we also equip our teachers, like you mentioned, in terms of teacher training. We equip them in terms of running sessions for them, sharing sessions. We also conduct classroom in-class support, whereby we go in to observe the teachers in trying out some of these strategies, and then we will be at hand to help them, and also to talk about how best we can track the students' progress, not just in terms of their termly examinations results, but in terms of their daily progress. So we do look at their work, and then we sit down together to look at any common misconceptions that they have, and how we can come in to give timely interventions.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Can we have the microphone moving to the
Good morning, everyone. I am Evelyn Fitalvero, the Assistant Regional Director of Region 12 for the Philippines, Department of Education. I'm so glad to have our former Undersecretary of the Department of Education, the Philippines, the Honorable Yusik Juan Miguel Luz. I am so moved by your stories, and I could imagine how grateful those students that you have touched with by the virtues that you possess as teachers. And that's for sure the reason why you are part of the 2015 Princess Maha Chakri award. That's the most prestigious award that I know. My question is, or has been answered by our Singapore awardee, but because I have, before you talk, during the second question of the first, who gave the first question, I was having a dilemma on my part on, as you have said, it takes a village to educate a child. So I had a question in my mind about your teachers, your fellow teachers who have to handle the same learners who are downtrodden, low, distressed, because they are to be mainstreamed. So you are not the only teachers. So my question was, how would you influence them to really care deeply, just like what you have done? But you have mentioned already, Teacher Lang, you have mentioned, and I am so appreciative of the things that your fellow teachers and your school has been doing for these children with special needs. Now, I am after of what Brunei Darussalam has also done with the students, because I am so touched also by your sharing that it was a very difficult thing for you to part with that special child of yours. Now, I am concerned about how do your fellow teachers behave, and are you adopting the same approaches that the Singapore school has been doing in relation to their special education program with our children of special needs? Thank you.
I would like to share my experience and my story about my daughter when she was first time went to school. At the time, it was in 1990, in somewhere 1998. She is the first cohort or first batch student with special needs went to school. So we start our special education, inclusive education in Brunei around 1998 or 1997, somewhere like that. So at that time I was not a special needs teacher yet, but in my school there is one special teacher. She is now she is one of the staff of special education unit who joined me in the school visit across Thailand last December. So at the time, the teachers are not aware about special education, they don't have awareness about inclusive education. They cannot accept her in the classroom. I was been there, and it was very emotional for me to remember that moment.
You need some time? Can you share your answer first?
I think I just want to add some comments that really we have to pull in the teachers together, because only when we are united in the same goal, then can we make the difference. And we will have to slowly win them over. I think it starts with really role modeling, walking the talk. I mean, we can have a lot of sharing, but it must go beyond the sharing. They must feel that same heartbeat.
Yes.
And you know, you can influence them with that same passion. So I can understand why he is feeling so emotional, because when we talk about students, every life matters. Every child is important to us, really. And many a times we are all moved by their life stories. Sometimes for a child so young, they have to battle a lot of difficult circumstances in their life that sometimes I don't know whether an adult can do equally well. So it's that resilience that they have, you know, that inspires us. So when we speak of these stories, it comes alive to the teachers, and they find that, it's not something so difficult. I can actually do it. Sometimes they just need that support and encouragement. So we can be their mentors. We can, you know, support them along the way. And I always practice an open door, you know, policy. I say, come by if you face any difficulty, or you just need a listening ear. I'll be most happy to attend to you.
Okay, back to my story. It's not because she is my daughter, because she has the right to have the education. She has the right to be in the classroom. So what I saw was she's in preschool. At that time she was 5 years old. She was put away from the other student and faced the wall from 7:30 until 12:30. Is that right? So every time I pass by the class, my heart touched, you know. I never treated my daughter like that. Sit in front of the class. Is that the situation? It's supposed to be not that way. So I talked to the headmaster, and I have to explain her. I have to make her understand about what is inclusive education. So I'm thinking that the school community, the school administrator must understand what is special education. Understand what's the student herself. So I managed to talk with the class teacher. Could you please put my daughter together with the others? She said she's being so, you know, distracting the others with this one. Okay, fine. So there is one teacher, English teacher. She's my friend. She understands. Every time she teach the class English during the English lesson, she will pull my daughter out from her classroom, and my daughter until now she still remember the teacher. Okay, so I don't want to be that happen to my student now. So they are very lucky that after 20 years, the teachers are more aware about the inclusive education. And I still remember the advice from Dr. Maliwan. She said to me, you start from small first. You start from your best friend first, so that they can understand. When you show the successfulness in that kind of then the other teachers will open their mind, they open their eyes. Okay, in my center, I practice an open door to the parents, to the teacher to come in and visit us and look at the student. Last week I was very busy because we have it's kind of an open day for our center. I managed to ask my headmaster to make an open day for my center, so that the community around, the society around the school, the parents, the nearby village, like head of the village, come and visit us. And we visit one of the VIP. He is actually my close relative. So I contact him before and explain what it's all about. So at that time, all the head village said, "Oh, we don't know that this building have a special student. We don't know what is happened in this building." Now they asked me, "Can we visit you anytime that we like?" "Yes, for sure. Please come," I said. So that is the way how I make this as a, make the community knows about and learn about this student, awareness and acceptance in the community.
Thank you so much. As I said, 30 minutes is not enough for sure. And now we only have less than 5 minutes left. Can I have the last person? Could you give us a short question?
Thank you. Mike Luce from the Asian Institute of Management. I listened to your two stories, and it's very moving. And my question really has to do with your particular schools versus the entire system in your country. Are your schools, are they the exception to the rule with reference to inclusive education, or do you think it's representative of what's going on in your country? Because inclusive education can mean many things to many people. I think I initially had some question about how inclusive is inclusive in your definition, but the way you describe it in your answer to the last question seems to me that it really is the way you explain it, that it really reaches out to everybody. But my question is, in many of our systems, inclusive education is actually the exception. Many schools don't practice it.
Oh, okay.
Many educators like to think and use the term, but really don't mean it.
Yes, I understand.
What do you do when you come across teachers and administrators who, in fact, have biases against inclusive education? Do you run across them in your country, and how do you deal with them, or how should school systems deal with them?
Inclusive education is a policy system, educational policy in Brunei. So every school must practice inclusive education at school. So it means that special needs student is learning in the normal school, learn together with the normal student, but in different way of modification, adaptation, and so on. But in my program, there are two programs, program for special needs and program for remedial, for slow learners. So we have 4 special teachers. So 3 of us is on special needs, and one teacher is for remedial, since there are only 10 students in remedial program. So these students, we categorize them into two categories. One is the severe one, and one is the one who have disabilities in academic. Okay, in academic. So the one who are severe, we are practicing the part-time system where they come to school at 7:30 and go home at 11:30. And most of the time they are in my center, and there is a relief teacher to bring them in the normal classroom for about 30 minutes to 1 hour in certain subject, for example, physical education, ICT, or English, like that. So they can mingle or socialize with the normal kids in the classroom. While the one who have you call that abilities in academic, most of the time they're in the classroom, and we only pull out for certain time in our center to help them individually.
Hi, Michael. I like your question. Really, it's about how inclusive is inclusive, really. But I think in our context, we are moving towards an inclusive society. So it's more the society at large that will also therefore impact the education fraternity. In every school, we have the multi-skilled team. And meaning to say that we have at hand our allied educators assisting the teachers in supporting these children, learning support coordinators as well. We also have a group of specially trained teachers. We call them the teacher trained in special needs, TSNs. And we have a good 10% of such teachers in every primary school. So these teachers are equipped with basic training in various special needs so that they are mindful and they are competent to handle such students. And at the school level, they will therefore be the champions, and they will be the resource person that teachers go to if they need certain support and assistance in handling children with special needs.
Thank you so much. I'm afraid that we are run out of time, and I'm sure that you all have still opportunity to talk to both teacher Ratanawati and teacher Aileen, because we have Kun Thuy. Can you look? Can you stand up? She's the liaison officer for Ku Aileen. And Kun Ann, can you stand up? She's the liaison officer for Ku Ratanawati. So you can find 4 of them anywhere in this hotel and have a personal exchange with them further on. But now I would like to conclude that this session about slow learner and low progress student, you can see how skillful both teachers are. We have no question about that. They are kind, they are passionate, creative, and love to the student. Until now, I still cannot find any measure to measure how big their heart is. And that is something our education system must find the way to really train the teacher, not just the skill, not just how good they can teach, but how big their heart is, to ensure that any kind of student, no matter how special they is, there are a place inside their heart and inside all of us heart. That's the closing of this session. Thank you so much.
I've been attending meetings, forums, many times in my life. I'm sure you are all attending many, but I've never seen or experienced the forum that you have full of tears. เต็มไปด้วยน้ำตาแล้วก็ความประทับใจนะคะอาจจะเสียงหัวเราะอาจจะนิดหน่อยบางมุก แต่ว่าจริงๆแล้วมาจากความประทับใจ but the story has not yet end นะคะเรื่องยังไม่จบมีอีกนิดหนึ่ง there's a little touch like when you bake a cake the cake is so delicious but it will not be perfect with that little cherry drops นะคะจะไม่ perfect เลยถ้าไม่มีลูกเชอร์รี่อยู่ข้างบนเค้ก that little cherries on the top of the cake is a interesting story that Dr. Krishnapong will share with us อาจารย์ค่ะเชิญเลยค่ะ Dr. Krishnapong will put on the top of your cake that little cherries.
I was very fortunate that I went to visit Ku Ratnawati's school, and it's quite heart rendering โชคดีที่ผมไปที่โรงเรียนแล้วก็มีเรื่องประทับใจซึ่งเขียนไว้ในหนังสือ I went to a room and about 10 children were playing and then there is this little girl about 4 or 5 tugging at my leg มีเด็กผู้หญิงสัก 4-5 ขวบมากระตุกกางเกง I look at her even though she couldn't communicate with me and neither can I talk to her I know that she want to be hugged that she want to be hugged so with this communication it's very basic human instinct so I pick her up and carry her around for some time ก็อุ้มขึ้นมาแล้วก็เดินไป She was a bit heavy to me because I'm old I couldn't carry a girl of that weight for some time so I sat down then there is this second boy he just came out of nowhere and sat on my other knee Children need to be hugged. They need love. Whether they are physically disabled or not. So if you can really communicate with children, I think you would reach anywhere. It's a story that I wrote in the book Kru Thai Pop Kru Tet. It's a story in that book. And I remember at the end of the trip, there is this boy. He would like to join us, right? He ran into the bus in our van, and Ratnawati has to take him out. You know, I think he's so happy meeting people from overseas. So children need love. Children need to be hugged. I think we have plenty of love. Things that we cannot do, we can do without wasting any dollar or any time. Just hug and give love to the children. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And that stories tell us why we become teachers. Those stories touch our hearts. And the chairman himself would like me to summarize a little bit, not too much, from the morning till now. But I think I'm standing between the coffee break and you, and it's you 400 of you and only me. That's dangerous. So I'm gonna shorten by saying that this morning, the picture that I received from Hervin is that you don't have to be the best, or you don't have to have the best tools, but you can be the best. The story with Mr. Zainuddin Malaysia is that you have to open mind of your children to be the global mind. Give them opportunity, global. The story of Mr. Chalermporn is that you try to make the difference with the limited resources that you have. Then the story of Ratnawati is that you open your mind, then you open other heart, meaning you open their eyes to see the special education. Then the story of Lian is that nothing is hard if you have nothing is too hard if you have your heart to it. So those are the very remarkable statement that I get from these 5 teachers. But last of all is that you're as a teacher, when you teach in classroom, at the end of the day or when they graduate, they might not remember what you told them or what you teach them, but they will remember how you make them feel. And that's the most important thing. So enjoy your coffee break, and then we will meet each other.